It's Taco Tuesday. It's that time again.
And boom, boom, after dark. I want my royalties for these lyrics. Andre Cheesecake.
You're so needy, Rob. You get paid in onion rings as it is. So the next thing you're going to be like, well, they aren't good enough. I want beer batter.
I want ketchup on those onion rings now.
He wants beer batter. Welcome once again to Midnight's Edge After Dark. I'm Tom Connors. With me, as always, is the voice of Midnight's Edge, Rob.
Hello.
Where did you kazoo? Kazoo. Also hanging with us is the boss man, a rare treat. How you doing, Andre?
I'm good, thank you, and thanks for having me. And now it's actually appropriate that I say that.
It is. And also we have the fifth Beatle with us, Script Doctor. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to be here. How is everybody doing?
Pleasurable, if that's a word. Lucifer Storm is joining us tonight. That's right.
Good evening.
He's back.
Everyone. Oh, yes. You can't get rid of me that easily.
Oh, we wouldn't want to. We wouldn't dream of it. Why would we? The devil's the fun guy, remember?
Exactly.
He gives us air conditioning.
Yes.
The big guy upstairs, he's all like, do this, don't do that, smite you this, smite you that.
He's a big spoiled child.
Did you ever hear the joke about two guys die and one goes to heaven, one goes to hell? And the guy from goes, what's hell like? Oh man, it's great, man. There's booze, there's parties every night, there's music, there's women. And he says, oh, what's heaven like? Oh man, let me tell you, I gotta do all the cleaning, I gotta do the washing, I gotta do the cooking. Oh, what do you gotta do all the work for? I'm the only one up here.
And the correct answer is Mormon.
You've been watching South Park again,
I love South Park. That's my favorite show.
Yeah, that's so good. That was absolutely brilliant.
Dum.
There's that old joke about mini. What do you call mini golf? Mormon foreplay.
Oh, shit.
You mean like mini putt? Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of who was right, I don't know about the rest of you, but Lucifer, surely you have seen Toby's monologue, wherein he makes it plain that the Jews were right. The Rowan Atkinson.
O.J.
Simpson. Yeah,
I was going to say
yeah.
The Jews was right. O.J. Simpson was right all along.
If I did do it.
I'm not saying I did do it, but if I did do it.
Yeah. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, Script Doctor, you of course caught it instantly. Rowan Atkinson, he has like this one-man show where he is the devil, better known as Toby, and he introduces all the recently arrived. And then he lets everyone know that, no, sorry, you spent your life worshipping wrong, because you see, the Jews were right. So.
Well, he sets it up like Christians are here, over to the left, I'm sorry, but the Jews were right.
My buddy Kev's stepfather is he's Jewish, and he always said that, the whole thing about Jesus coming back, and goes, hey, listen, if you have any doubts, just become Jewish. We're still waiting.
And that's been,
Hey, Stephanie Janacek.
That's been Midnight After Dark. It was nice having you all here. We've been canceled. Yeah, Stephanie Janacek sending in some love with $4.99. Says, hey, y'all, good evening and cheers. Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Stephanie. Glad to have you here. And glad to have the rest of the cast and the crew in the chat as well. We got Sander hanging out. We got Kermit the Frog. And we got House of Trades always hanging around. Thank you so much. We got Mr. MH. We got Donnie Pearson. Welcome. We got Mary. Mary's here. Not Mary Mayhem, but the other Mary. We got Marks47. How you doing? We got Spider Unlimited's here hanging in there. How you doing? Larry. Thought I saw Larry here. Maybe I didn't. SP4H. He's here, though. or she. I'm not sure, but I think it's a he. And we got a grumpy old ninja.
Nice.
That sounds like a good movie.
Yeah.
Starring
I'd
Walter
watch that.
Matthau.
I was
and
just
Jack
going to say,
Lemmon.
sorry, Walter Matthau.
Yes.
I don't like your kung fu. I'm sick of it.
That's
Would you quit coming at me with your kung fu.
That's like a movie credit from the 70s when the heyday of the kung fu movies coming over to America. You know, you see grumpy old ninja. It'd be like some.
I tried the nunchucks and I don't matter what I do. I just can't get them to work. I don't do the best Walt.
Of course,
Jack
today
Lemmon.
you could just do it with Christopher Walken because he's the right age for it.
That's true. That's true. I'd pay to see that. Without a
Yeah,
shadow
it's
of a
the
doubt.
opposite direction because every other ninja parody film is involving like strippers or nurses or scantily clad women. Let's go old.
I once shoved the sword up the guy's ass.
I tried to do the invisible bit, but it wouldn't work. He saw me instantly.
I moved too slow.
I move. They say fade into the shadows, but there are no shadows. I can't do a good Christmas. Jake does it better. Christmas.
Yeah, I wish. Oh, yeah, I forgot to ask.
It's funny that actually sounded like you imitating me.
Yeah, because like whenever you do, like you always end up turning into like some stoic German. It's weird.
Yeah, or rather, as I like to say it, many people point out that I look like Vlad the Impaler. When Rob imitates me, he makes me sound like Vlad the Impaler too. So, that's cool.
I think I probably do the best, Andre. Probably close.
I'll go for it.
No, I can't do it on the spot. I'll have to do it at some other point. Like, yeah.
Can't work with this kind of pressure. Andre.
Ghostbusters 2016 is a Frankensteinian mess. That's not even my best Andre, to be honest with you. It's got to come naturally.
Yeah, and I can't be here because then you'll probably get like stage fright and stuff. So
That's part of it, unless I just do it off the cuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't just, like the time, like somebody's like, you got to have Andre sing. I'm like, Andre doesn't sing. Like, you have a better chance of me doing Andre singing than Andre singing. Because it'd be all like, booty shaking, earthquaking, let's get this fucker started. And the song's already over. So Dash Deese coming in with that Canadian cash. Got some of that Canadian money there. Tell me your script. Is there leaves on your money?
No,
Okay, good.
Is the Queen's still on the money though, right?
on the 20.
Okay.
The Queen of what?
Queen of
Queen
England.
of England.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, it used to be a British colony.
I know.
Yeah,
She used to be on the 20 and the
Commonwealth.
$2 bill, but we got rid of
Commonwealth.
the $2 bill.
I know.
They used to have her face all splattered all across the Maple Leaf Gardens, but they took that out and put extra seats up there. Screw paying tribute to the Queen. We need to put more bodies in the building, people.
Well, Maple Leaf Gardens has been turned, I think, into a grocery store right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. Yeah, I never got to go there. So, the Air Canada Center now?
The Air Canada Center, which, I mean, those two locations are right between the Hockey Hall of Fame. So, I mean, you can, at least you got that.
I set you guys up for funny bits and you always disappoint me. You just got to give me a history lesson. Well, crap. Lucifer on MEAD. That explains it. I literally just got my 500-foot paracord order and the spool was broken and now have a 500-foot rat nest to unravel. That sounds bad, Dash D's. Lucifer, I loved you, man. Why? I don't think that is him. See, that sounds something like more like God would do. He's testing you.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I'm the guy who turns up and says, now look, I know you have a problem with drugs, but let's party.
Well,
That's
that
my kind
or
of stuff.
you make that happen in midair. You don't do that when it's coming in the mail. That's just a pain in the ass. If you're going to do it with style. That shit's going to happen while you jump out the plane.
Damn straight. that's the best time to be doing cocaine off a hooker's ass.
Well, that too. I meant the whole like paracord thing. But
Oh yeah,
anyway, if I'm assuming that's like cord for a parachute, I'm just assuming that. I shouldn't probably, but Stephen Otten says, "Hail Andre, Tom, Rob, Script, Lucifer, Midnighters, and Wrenches. It looks like I'm going to have to host Jeopardy." Rob, you haven't tried hosting Jeopardy yet.
Me? No, I haven't. I haven't been on Jeopardy, which is probably a good thing.
Well, those who can't do it host.
Because sadly, Alex Trebek is no longer with us, and I have a feeling if I miss a daily double, I would say, "You'll rue the day you crossed me, Trebek." So,
no, the problem is when you heard daily double, you're like, "Yes, please."
I don't know the answer to that. I want to know your mother's a whore, Trebek.
You just expected alcohol. But speaking of Jeopardy, we'll talk about LeVar Burton here in a little bit. Megs is here sending us a super sticker. Thank you so much.
Hey, Max.
I will try anal bum cover for $200.
Album cover.
I'll take the
Rapist.
I'll take the rapist for $400, Alex.
Therapist.
One of the classic.
Déjeuner, not ape tips.
The Andre doesn't really get too many of the SNL skits, so when we do those, but you may have seen that one at least.
Andre,
those are one of the better ones.
Andre, look up Celebrity Jeopardy SNL, then all your questions will be answered.
Is that the one also where you had?
Well, here's like the thing. It's not a matter of it being new or old or whatever. If it's SNL, it's extremely unlikely I've ever seen it. Period, regardless of whether it's new or old. I do know the Roxbury thing though, but actually, when it took some in my neck of the woods, it took some tracing and some research to figure out. Oh, that's an SNL thing from way back when. So yeah.
Yeah, Blues Brothers also started as an SNL bit too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've learned that there's like so many
As
things
did
that
Wayne's
started out.
World.
Yeah, exactly. Like no one here had any clue of that. Like that's everyone that I know of thought that was just like something that started on its own organically. There's so many SNL things that people around the world have no clue are SNL things because they don't have SNL.
Tom and Script, you probably would know the answer to this. Does the Blues Brothers still hold the record for the most cars destroyed during a movie?
Second one does.
The second one does by like a handful.
Because Landis made sure he beat his record.
Okay. What happened to John Landis? He's
still doing stuff here and there, but he's just kind of
he's more of a wheeler and shaker in town as opposed to the director.
Was it the Twilight Zone that impacted his
among a lot of other things actually? Yeah, I mean he's got a reputation for taking credit for things he didn't actually do, even though he's got his name on it. And people just kind of got wise and said, "No, you're not doing that. Sorry."
And there's that, and then just like he had a few stinkers in a row that just kind of as far as his box office.
Well, he did like Meet the Stupids or something like that.
Yeah, between that and Beverly Hills Cop 3 not doing very well, and
he phoned it in on that one for sure.
Well, that was not. I found out later on that wasn't his fault. But in an interview, one of the I can't remember if it was a producer or writer or somebody like that flat out said they told him like the problem they had was Eddie didn't want to be funny, so they had to find a way to make Eddie funny without him knowing it. So they basically had to bowfinger that movie into existence. Which is odd. Have you ever seen Bowfinger, Andre?
I love Bowfinger.
Okay,
it's
so
one
you
of
know
my favorite movies. Yeah,
and Lucifer, I'm assuming you've seen it when you laughed there, so you probably knew what I meant. Yeah,
yes.
So yeah, and that was like a path that kind of began with between that and then like you just said, Script, just some of the other things going on, and and just he. I feel bad because he was a talented director, but.
In his heyday, he had a lot of potential, and then something happened, and he just kind of started to slowly step away and not do as much. I mean, he burned a lot of bridges on his rise. That's the other part, too. He burned a lot of bridges on his rise to popularity, and those bridges ended up being something that stood longer than he could, and that's why you don't do some of the stuff like what we've seen over the last few weeks with some of the writers for some of the movies coming out saying, "Oh yeah, it was a disservice to the edit was a disservice to what I had written and all that stuff." It's like you don't say that. I mean, you can think it, you can feel it, you can use it in private, but publicly, you're better to be more diplomatic and say, "You know what? I had this thing. They went to another direction, and that's the studio's prerogative, and they do it for them to make the money that they want." And that's how you play it out, because you can still show that, yeah, it's not 100% my thing, but they did what they did, and it's their responsibility, and you gotta have to reconcile that. I mean, they're the ones that foot the bill, and that's why it's a very delicate business. And
yeah, well, speaking of delicate, I doubt that DCV Titan is a delicate flower, because with a name like that, how could you be? With Canadian, a lot of Canadian love tonight in the chat. Says she's still on the nickel, and if you want to make her smile, flip it over and rub the beaver.
Well, that's the queen, yeah.
I've heard that joke before, and I knew that she was. I was just making a joke earlier. Like, just to be clear, guys, I try to set these guys up for jokes and funniness, and they just get all like logical and shit on me. Halogen Helix, I like that name. Says Lucifer on MEAD means this is going to be so chill, or it will be an in-depth journey into what makes us all human. You never know. Hail everyone. Well, thank you so much. And yeah, we love having Lucifer around. He's very enlightening and always a fun time one way or the other.
Well, I like to try.
Absolutely. Oh, Mags is now a member of MEAD. That's right. You can become a member. Isn't that right, Rob? You can tickle your member on MEAD. I mean,
Giggity.
Yeah, thanks for selling it, Rob. Dash D says paracord was originally for that. Okay. But you can make jewelry, horse tack, nets, anything really. I do it as part of my therapy. You can make good coin with it. Bridals can go for $12K for the good ones. Oh, wow. That's cool. So at least I wasn't completely off. No. You're not jumping out of planes, though. So that's a good thing. We don't have to worry about losing you that way. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, we are caught up on the super chats, and I'm going to get into some news. We got a few things here. I see that story you sent me, Andre. Did you want to do that first, or do you want to do some other stuff first?
No, that's entirely up to you. I just brought it to your attention because I thought it was interesting. It's probably going to send you into a rage fit. But,
I don't know about a rage fit, but I think I've already seen it. But I will attach that to that other story we have. But let's start with this, because this is going to send Rob into a rage fit. Hey, Bonnie. We're going to be chicks now.
Oh, no.
Mark's 47 is also
There's already chicks on the Flintstones.
Well, I'm just kidding. We don't know for sure. Okay, what this actually is, okay, remember now, they turned down Seth MacFarlane doing a Flintstones update. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Flintstones sequel in the works at Fox from Warner Brothers Animation. Elizabeth Banks is set to voice Pebbles. So basically, they're remaking. What was that called when they had the Flintstone kids grow up?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, there's a Christmas one and a Vegas one, I think.
Well, no, but they actually had a show for a while.
No, yeah, but there was a show where Pebbles was a teenager. Yeah.
Got married, and they had the whole wedding special and all that stuff.
But Fred and Wilma were still miraculously the same age.
Of course.
I mean, they were only like 17 during the years of the actual show, and then you go another 12 years later, and then they're late 20s, early 30s. Yeah, because remember, the life expectancy of Flintstones is terribly low.
You got a point there, Rob. I threw the link in the chat there for you. Unless you want me to do it.
No, I'll do it, and I'll try to hold back Try to hold back the vomit that's coming up. I just ate, Tom. Why do you got to do this to me?
Bonnie, why are you doing this guy?
She gave me an erection. Flintstones sequel series in the works at Fox from Warner Brothers Animation. Elizabeth Banks to voice Pebbles. They're still trying to make Elizabeth Banks a huge star, huh?
Mm.
Don't get me wrong. Nice looking lady, but seems better.
She's funny in the right roles, but I don't know how she keeps doing this directing and writing thing. Sorry, Andre, you're going to say something.
Yeah, no, I was about to say that I do believe that you meant before Charlie's Angels, in which she, from my point of view, revealed her true colors in a way.
Mm-hmm. Well, she kind of did before that with that, what is that movie, 54 or 52 or whatever the hell that movie was where they
It's no fun to be 53 at Studio 54.
I don't know what the hell.
Are you talking about the sketch movie?
Yeah, the one they tricked a bunch of people into basically being 43? In. That's what it is, movie 43.
Yeah.
Like when I saw that and realized she had something to do with that behind the scenes, I was like, oh my good God, Gertie.
Gypsy Warrior, Seth MacFarlane should have hosted the Oscars. See, here's the thing. Hollywood hates Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
The Hollywood establishment absolutely despises Seth MacFarlane because he's been letting their dirty little secrets out one at a time, and there's nothing they could do about it because he's a money-generating machine.
They only let him do it once.
And that was the best Oscars in a decade, was his little skit in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the song that we saw your boobs, that was funny.
Yeah, it was amazing.
This Cesario JPN says, I thought they already made an adult Flintstone sequel. It was called the Wu-Tang Clan's Gravel Pit. Not quite. This sounds like retread. But anyway, go on with the story, Rob.
The animated series titled Bedrock is set 20 years after the events of the original series. Banks will voice an adult Pebbles Flintstone in addition to executive producing. Variety exclusively reported that Banks and Warner Bros. Animation were developing this new iteration of a classic series back in 2019. And yet you rejected Seth MacFarlane.
Do you have skyscrapers in the background there?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. I didn't even notice that.
I didn't know until now, yeah.
There's a dinosaur crane. Look over here. Over there.
They couldn't let it be, could they?
No, of course not. Oh, God. I guarantee you we're going to be seeing Caveman Lives Matter or whatever. In the show, Fred Flintstone is on the brink of retirement, and 20-something Pebbles is embarking on her own career. And as the Stone Age gives way to the shiny, enlightened new Bronze Age, how long do they think they lived for? The residents of Bedrock.
Wait a minute. Time out. You're right, Rob.
Hold on. Stone Age, Bronze Age, time span. Let me see this. Hold on.
Quite a long time.
This is in the tens of thousands of years.
I was going to say somewhere in the thousands of years range, if not 10.
Yeah, like the Stone Age was as long as you have had like biologically modern humans, the Stone Age is the absolutely longest lasting one. Like everything else is a blip on the radar, whereas like the Stone Age was like a million years.
The Bronze Age, it says here the Bronze Age lasted from 3300 to 1200 BC. I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Come on.
Yeah.
That would mean Fred Flintstone is 10,000 years old.
Well, it could be that the original series took place just at the very, very end.
Bullshit.
Of the Stone Age.
Right on the
dinosaurs in this motherfucker.
But don't you see that this series is going to be woke as hell?
Oh, I can tell from
obviously, because here you have like Fred Flintstone, literally a caveman, a Stone Age person who sees the entire world change around him, and it's stunning and brave Pebbles. That's
you're just a toxic old
point of view character. Exactly.
Have you seen All in the Family, Andre?
No,
but you've heard of Archie Bunker anyway. That's what they're going to do.
I know of it through you guys.
They're going to turn Fred into Archie Bunker is what I think you're
Rebels, why you want to work in the gravel pit? Women can't do that job. Daddy, like this is the Bronze Age.
What's with all these Neanderthals everywhere?
Yeah,
every time worried about what they're going to do to Bam Bam.
Yeah, it's Cartoon Man 154. Pebbles will break the stone ceiling. Yeah.
Actually, I would not be surprised if that's a line thrown in there.
Yeah. Cave women are about to break the stone ceiling, Daddy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
And they're not going to get the joke. That's the problem. See, the thing with Archie is the reason it works is because we've kind of explained this to you before, but for those who in the audience who don't know, is the dynamic works because you have both the left and the right at that time period. And they were Norman Lear was making fun of both.
Yeah.
You had, the two kids were the one extreme, and they were, he made fun of them just as much as he made fun of Archie's point of view. But 9 times out of 10, what the show would do is Archie would be wrong, but it wasn't so much that he was wrong because he would come off as a racist or a bigot.
Oh no, he was a well-meaning. You
would find out in the end of every episode that there was something behind that, and it generally had nothing to do with him being that thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it's like one of the most prime examples of the whole show is he calls Mike Meathead all the time, and then you learn to find out that that's the nickname they gave him down at the docks.
Yep.
So he's just passing the buck along, like it's like a. I'm kind of misrepresenting Rob. You know,
he more or less kind of projects whatever happened to him onto other people.
Well, yeah, basically what it is that Michael Stivic plays the academic who has no world experience, and Archie plays the guy with world experience with no real kind of understanding of the education behind it. And and the thing is, Archie reconciles more with that because he learns in every episode, and Michael Stivic doesn't. And by the end of the series, Michael Stivic is the guy who leaves his wife to go off to some sort of like hippie commune and has no value system. And Archie ends up being the guy who's like, I may have learned from him, but I still held on to what was important, which is that everybody is, responsible for themselves.
Yeah. Well, that's where Archie's daughter eventually learns kind of the kind of line.
I mean, there was an absolute great, I would dare call it groundbreaking episode centered around Christmas time, where one of Archie's old friends comes back who lost his son in Vietnam, and one of Mike Stivic's Meathead's friends comes down from Canada, and he's a draft dodger. And he has to explain to Archie and to Archie's friend why he took that moral stand. And at the end, he goes, "All I know is if my son were anything like you, he'd still be here." And he was.
Oh, that's what the guy said. Yeah, the father.
Yeah. He said, and Archie's really like he has trouble reconciling. Edith, I got to work this out. Archie, come back to the table. Edith, I got to work this out. There's people caroling outside. Hey, you want to keep it down out there?
It's the show we're missing right now. I mean, that show really took a look at what the fuck was going on.
There's people that would decry it as woke, but I mean, but at the same time,
it's not woke, it's humanitarian. It's about
It did it in such a way that I always say, here's how you can tell when something does something right. When you find yourself saying, "Oh yeah, you know what? I saw that last week on All in the Family," or "I saw that last week on Star Trek," and they said, "Oh," and you catch yourself like, "Oh, that's right, yeah." That's how like when they could slip that in there without you even knowing. But that they're not preaching, they're
inquiring. Actually, they pose the question and then say how many different answers it takes on that question can we explore through our characters, because that's what it is. That's where you get between just an inquiry to allow the audience to also ask those same questions of themselves and of the characters, as opposed to a propaganda or a preach. And that's kind of what ends up hurting your storytelling, is when it becomes a preach. I mean, you can pose a question and have an answer, but you have to bring in all those other points of view as well to see why the one answer that you're doing is in your opinion the best one. But you can't allow yourself to deflate the validity of the other questions or other possible answers as well. You have to have that fun debate, because that way you can actually tell an interesting story, and you end up having your characters at the centerfold of the subject, as opposed to the subject dominating the characters.
Yeah, right. And what makes Archie, the thing is he's lovable, because we know he cares about his family. We know he cares about his country. We know he's true in his convictions, no matter which, even if they're wrong. And then that's the thing, is usually the show does show him when he's wrong, what he's doing wrong. And that was what was great about it. But it also didn't preach the other sides of things, like, the guys were just saying as well. Mecha J says, the Seth MacFarlane Flintstone character designs were released a month ago. They look like they were from the Family Guy cutaway gag. I thought I saw them a long time ago.
I remember them like about 8 years ago. They were released.
Yeah, I was going to say. Because I thought they even released like a teaser for Fox, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought I saw some sort of teaser somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know why
I think the one I saw was literally just Seth MacFarlane like looking into the camera and saying, "Well, guess what? I'm doing the Flintstones," and then of course never fucking happened.
Yeah, I thought they showed like the character designs at that time too, but I could have been wrong. Maybe just I'm remembering it wrong. But then House Atreides comes in and says, "I would like to see Midnight's Edge do a show to celebrate Thrawn and the new trilogy, Thrawn Ascendancy, just to say F you to Lucasfilm." That we do celebrate good Star Wars. I'm not against that, but then that means I got to read books.
So you're a little bit against it.
What was that?
You're a little bit against it, then.
I'm a little bit against it. Like, it's just the time factor first and foremost.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Maybe in the future, as a possibility for like, do they have the audio forms? Maybe that's something we can discuss. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, Andre's doing a few of. He's still trying to catch up with the Dune series, and he's been doing Greek mythology. Jesus Christ, Norse mythology. Yeah, I knew what I meant. So I mean, to add another thing to the pot right now on top of the other stuff might be a bit difficult, but no, it's not a bad idea, especially for the channels where they do focus more on Star Wars. That'd probably be a great idea for them. Yeah, specifically, but yeah, something we'll keep in mind though. Thanks for the recommendation. And Dash D says, I hope they have a paracord in the bronze because I'm gonna need something to do while this shit's on. I hope you don't plan on actually watching this. I mean, that's what we do. We watch it so you don't have to. To quote another famous YouTuber, Gypsy Warrior, welcome, says All in the Family was actually based on a British show. That's true. That's very true.
Very true.
Show called Till Death Do Us Part. The Archie Bunker character was called Alf Garnett. Yeah, yes, and the difference, though, I would say, is that All in the Family just kind of came into its own, I guess, or I don't know how do you put it. It's one of the few that kind of transcended the original.
Yeah, often when an American version of a British TV show takes off, it's normally like the first season is really close to what the British TV show was doing. And then the second season says, okay, we're just going to do our own thing now. We're going to start going in this direction. And that's what really makes them succeed.
Yeah. No, I really hope this isn't what it would have looked like. I really hope.
Yeah, I mean, it's still got still a little bit of that Family Guy.
Right, that's what I don't like about it. I don't like the droopy eyes.
Yeah, but
those aren't Flintstone eyes.
Still looks like the Flintstones, though.
For the rest of it, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to change the eyes, though. I can't do that with the eyes.
Yeah, so that's what Seth MacFarlane's Flintstones would have looked like. A big old piece of meat there, and right.
And I'm sure it's going to both look better and would no doubt have been written infinitely much better than Elizabeth Banks' Flintstones inevitably is going to be. But that's just my opinion.
And then Goddess of Whim checking in. How you doing? Says, no good can come from the Flintstones show. That's right. And wouldn't she be Pebble's Rubble? Well, she should be.
Let's take a look here. As the Stone Age gives way to the shiny, enlightened new Bronze Age, the residents of Bedrock will find this evolution harder than a swing from Bam Bam's club. The project will be written and co-executive produced by Lindsay Kearns, whose past and credits include Jurassic World, Camp Cretaceous, DC's Superhero Girls, Trolls, The Beat Goes On. Banks and Max Hendelman will executive produce via Brownstone Productions, with the company's Dana Schinder co-executive producing. Warner Brothers Animation and Fox Entertainment will produce. Brownstone is currently under a TV overall deal at Warner Brothers. Long before The Simpsons in Springfield, the Griffins and Quahog, or even when the Belchers started serving burgers on Ocean Avenue, that's Bob's Burgers, I imagine. I'm not a huge fan of Bob's Burgers. There were the Flintstones and Bedrock. Actually, the Jetsons were first, so there. Said Michael Thorne, president of entertainment for Fox Entertainment.
Actually, I think the Flintstones came before the Jetsons.
Okay. Their imprint on the animation universe is undeniable, and the idea of adapting it for today's audience, is a challenge we here at Fox are very much looking forward to making on with Warner Brothers, Elizabeth and Lindsay. No pressure whatsoever, really. In addition to Fox Entertainment's free streaming platform, Tubi has acquired the AVOD rights. AVOD? Advanced
Video on Demand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So Tubi is becoming a thing. That's what I keep hearing about.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob.
Well, most extreme elimination challenges on Tubi.
Well, Stephanie Janicek says, Flintstones reminded me more of the Honeymooners. Well, there's a reason for that, Stephanie, and that's because, if you didn't know already, it was a parody of the Honeymooners.
Yeah, it's based
straight up.
Based on the Honeymooners, yeah.
To the point where didn't even, what's his face, think about suing him or tried suing him at one point.
Oh, Jackie Gleason?
Jackie Gleason, yeah.
I heard stories that was the case.
Yeah,
it was like 50 years before my time.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's more like one of those. If it wasn't true, it probably should have been kind of stories where he thought about it and somebody told him, "Oh, it's parody. There's nothing you can do."
And well, anyway, in addition to free streaming, TV's acquired the AVOD rights to all 6 seasons of the Flintstones, which will begin streaming on Tubi on May 1. Flintstones are the first family of primetime animation, said Peter Girardi.
Oh, so they're not going to be on HBO Max anymore then?
I don't know. Well, maybe they'll also be on there.
Well, it said exclusive. That's why I brought that up. Sorry.
Oh. Acquired the rights. So
acquired the rights. It's exclusive.
Not it's exclusive.
Okay, sorry. I misheard.
Okay, Warner Brothers Animation. Elizabeth and Lindsay have a brilliant take on these characters, and Fox and Brownstone are the perfect partners to bring them back to prime time. This is going to rock. Sorry. You had to make a pun. The Flintstones originally ran for 6 seasons and 166 episodes on ABC between 1960 and 1966. It was television's first primetime animated series, and also the first animated program to win an Emmy Award for Best Comedy Series. There have been multiple attempts at new versions of the show over the years, including a short-lived series like New Fred and Barney Show, the Pebbles and Bam Bam Show. That's probably the one you were talking about. There have also been several Flintstones TV specials, as well as 2 live-action films. Seth MacFarlane also developed a reboot of the series for Fox back in 2011, but that project ultimately did not go forward. Bedrock is the latest attempt by Warner Brothers Animation to put a fresh spin, which always means trouble, on one of their existing properties. Other recent examples include Scooby-Doo's spin-off Velma for HBO Max, starring and executive produced by Minnie Kaling. Boo. The studio also produced critically acclaimed HBO Max series Harley Quinn, in which Kaylee Cuoco. Okay, yada, nobody cares.
Yeah, is there anything else in there worth a shit? Probably
that's it. but this is gonna be trouble. This is gonna be trouble.
You know what sucks? You know what bothers me about this is ripe for one of those revival things, but why do it like this?
Yeah,
because you could have so much fun with the modern take on the Flintstones, where you don't have to change anything other than add in, what would the Stone Age equivalent of the internet and cell phones and Twitter and all these other things be. Like that's
basically just a bunch of birds flying from house to house really fast. I'm sending a text. He types it in there, and it's just like a typewriter thing, and it's just smacking the head of the bird, and the bird's got to remember the words, and then he's flying away.
That's what I'm saying.
And the bird goes, they really need to upgrade their speed.
And it's a Wi-Fi-osaurus type of thing.
Hashtag Oscar's so white.
The only reason why this is going forward is because I hate saying this. I hate playing this card. Elizabeth Banks is a woman.
Yep.
I hate saying it, but if anybody else came to them with this, they say, yeah, that's nice. Go away.
Well, and I got to imagine what we just said is probably what Seth MacFarlane would have done. Is he would have just moderated. He wouldn't have changed anything really. Yeah, he would have given it a little bit more adult edge.
Yeah.
But I bet he would have just had fun with the modern jokes. Yeah. Because that's all the show was before was Fred comes up with a harebrained scheme, Barney follows along, but otherwise the rest of the show was just sight gags making fun of modern, 60s life, but giving it that Stone Age twist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know. Andre,
the telephone numbers are 3 digits because there wasn't a huge population around.
Yeah, little jokes like that. Exactly my point. Yeah, or the dishwasher being a freaking warthog, or the
elephant disposal. The elephant showers. You got
the elephant shower
for a record player.
Yeah, there was so much fun.
There was oh god. I can't remember what it was. I lost my train of thought. Tom, go ahead.
That's all right. Well, Tim Scorpion says this is going to sink like a rock. Speaking of that, and I want to welcome Christy. Christy is a member now.
Hey, Christy,
my internet ex-wife.
Oh God!
I got to get Andre's take on this. Was the Flintstones a big thing in Norway at all?
We had the Flintstones, so yeah. How big it was, I don't know. I don't think it was that big, but everyone knows of the Flintstones. Right. It was kind of like those things that are iconic in a sense. I don't know that anyone was a huge fan, but everyone knew of it. I don't think that any kids today will know it, but anyone my generation and older will have like had it on in the background. So yeah, that was quite well known.
One of the few cartoons with canned laughter.
Yeah, that could be true. I don't remember that, but if you say so, that's probably true. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, similar question to you and Lucifer. Then, did you ever really watch it much growing up? I mean, was it a thing on television when you grew up, like in your areas?
Yeah, it was. When I was a kid, it was mostly on like early in the morning.
Yeah.
Kind of thing throughout Monday to Friday, maybe on Sundays if you were lucky, but it didn't like make part of the Saturday cartoons or anything like that. And if you were up early enough getting ready for school, you know, you used to pop it on whilst you're eating your cereal and stuff. And yeah, it's something that I would quite happily revisit, but not this. Not this version of it. No fucking way.
I gotta assume Canada was probably similar too, and same thing here. Like there was not a time I can recall where the Flintstones wasn't in syndication.
Yeah.
And they were still doing specials when I was a kid. They were still doing, like, you know, of course, we had the live action film in 94, I think it was.
Yep.
Or 95. Was it 94 or 95? Was it?
I think it was 94.
When I first got it,
93.
When I first,
I was thinking to say the year after Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
When I first got a VCR, that was like one of the first things I started taping, the Flintstones.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was always popular. It was popular with, I mean, I remember it was one of the few shows that I would watch with my dad that was a cartoon, because otherwise, you know, he wouldn't, you know, unless, you know, he wasn't going to sit there and watch Saturday morning cartoons with me, but he'd sit there and watch Flintstones with me and Rocky and Bullwinkle and stuff like that, of course.
Yeah, because it's fun, easy viewing, isn't it?
Well, and it's got two levels to it, and that's the thing. And as I just said, you know, for the kids, you know, you can watch the Flintstones as a straightforward cartoon, but as an adult, you pick out all the other in-jokes that we were talking about, and that's where this works on so many different levels. And again, like, I'm not against updating it. There's nothing wrong with updating it, but I don't see the point.
What's the angle, right? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the angle that has me worried, because as we heard from Rob's excellent narration of what it said right there, all the keywords were in there, every single one. And as I pointed out earlier, it also had like other like story beats that to me in this day and age spell trouble. That you have like the shift from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age. There you have like this thing going from an old world that is to be left behind to like a new order kind of things.
You know what that also sets up, Andre?
Carry on.
You know I joked about there's too many Neanderthals around. You know, but know what that does? That I guarantee you they're going to introduce humans, and they're going to say that the Flintstones are all fucking
outdated.
They're outdated Neanderthals, so they can be treated like a minority.
Or they're going extinct. Yeah,
second-class citizens. Yeah,
exactly. Second-class. How much you want to bet?
You know, there was also a Cartoon Network movie that aired once called Flintstones on the Rocks, and it opens with Fred and Barney in couples therapy. No, it's not Fred and Barney. With Fred and Wilma in couples therapy, and then Wilma turns and attacks Fred.
I would have rather seen Fred and Barney in couples therapy.
Actually,
absolutely. That sounded interesting.
Actually, Fred, please tell us about your dysfunctional relationship with Barney. What dysfunctional relationship? We go bowling.
I don't know, Bond. I don't know, Fred. You cost me a lot of money.
Oh, Bond, come on. It was a sure thing.
Yeah, I don't know, Fred.
Listen, I told you I'd pick up the beers next time.
Platonic Guardian says the difference between All in the Family and modern junk is that good satire makes those you caricaturize sympathetic. The woke mob has no sympathy. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying in so many words. It was like they don't understand what made Archie Bunker, and that's where they're going to screw up Fred probably, and they're going to make him some bad, you know, white man with too much, you know, Neanderthal rage and all that kind of shit.
Or he has too much privilege.
I would put money that this, like the cliffhanger at the end of the first season will be Fred getting Me Too'd.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Elizabeth Banks, yeah, I mean,
well, That's the thing, though. If Elizabeth Banks is going to be playing Pebbles, then that's where I said the Neanderthals will be in the minority.
Yeah.
So she'll be, marginalized.
Fighting for Neanderthal rights?
Yeah. Neanderthal lives matter and all that
Daddy,
shit.
you don't understand how important it is to stand up for oppressed people. We're going down to Occupy Rock Street. Okay. That's actually a pretty dated reference.
And then the twist in the show will be she won't marry Pebbles. She won't marry Bam Bam. I mean, Jesus Christ. I need to eat some at some point here before I counsel. She'll end up marrying some human, and then it'll create, a bunch of, or she'll fall in love with a human, and it'll create a bunch of conflict. But anyway, Lord Kamina too says, "Have you watched the Garbage Bird Girl series? I dropped it after the first episode with all the retcons to Harvey Birdman they made." I was big on that, but
never heard of it.
Have you seen the original series, Rob? I gotta imagine.
No, Garbage Bird Girl. No,
of Harvey Birdman.
I've heard. Harvey Birdman. Yeah,
the original Hanna-Barbera Birdman. Those. I mean, the original cartoon is pretty silly.
Yeah.
Harvey Birdman is brilliant.
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of this.
Harvey Birdman.
Good reason. Girl, it's pretty poor.
Well, there you go.
Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. Yeah.
Yeah, like I know they did that one episode where they had oh god, I've forgotten the name of the hippopotamus character, but they had him as an Alex Jones type.
Yep.
Turn the frogs gay.
DC Vitan says Neanderthal lives matter. Neanderthal lives matter. Oh Lord. I have a feeling that's what this is gonna be. It's gonna be a lot of that kind of crap. But we talked about that a lot longer than I planned on.
We're very passionate about the Flintstones.
I guess. I did not expect that conversation to go on that long. I really did not.
They are a staple to pop culture.
They are, though. You're right. I do love the Flintstones. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I have the whole entire series on Blu-ray. I'm still pissed that I can't get Jetsons Meet the Flintstones on anything but crappy DVD.
That's not on.
How has the show been remastered, but none of the specials and stuff? None of them have.
And like Flintstones is very important in the history of animation. Don't know what the fuck that is, but in animation,
it's spreading whatever I got.
Because it was the first animation that was done that was considered limited animation, where it was more similar to like what we do with tweening animation, where we have character puppets and all that jazz.
Yeah, it was a little bit ahead of if you ever saw the original Captain America cartoon series, which was quite, I mean, it was just still images with very limited movement.
It wasn't just Captain America. It was also Iron Man, Hulk, and Spider-Man. And Thor.
Very reminiscent of what Filmation did, in a sense that Hanna-Barbera and Filmation really made that animating on the twos and doing what you called like the puppetry kind of, where you basically would have a static character with just their mouth and eyes moving at the most.
Yeah.
Like they really perfected that and did the minimal and made it work and look and Hanna-Barbera did the best with that, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they did a great job, because I mean, you look at the Flintstones and you wouldn't think it was that minimal of animation, but it is. It's very minimally animated.
Yeah,
but it's seamlessly done. That was the trick.
Yeah, and they stole a lot of from because didn't they do a lot of that in Japanese animation too, where they would do on the twos?
Yeah, all the time. They would even do it on threes as well.
Jesus.
Japanese animation, and a lot of the time it would be a still image and a camera panning, and you would hear something going on that was off camera, just to save time and money.
And for those who don't know what I mean by on the twos and what Lucifer meant by on the threes and stuff like that is, you have 24 frames per second instead of like animating every frame like they would for Disney and classic Warner Brothers animation and all that kind of stuff. You only do every other frame. Yeah. So it saves on money, I guess, and time and all that good stuff.
It does. Actually, even with the Venture Brothers in their earlier seasons, they animated computer wise, but they also animate, I think, on like 3s and 4s, because I've actually broken down some of their episodes, and it's like, but they do it so well, you just can't catch it right away unless you actually go frame by frame and realize, hey, nothing's actually moving for these first 4 frames until
Oh, jeez. Billy D says, so basically hyper woke millennials are remaking a boomer show for an audience of Zoomers who only watch anime. Great plan.
Well, technically, Elizabeth Banks is Gen X, but
Put
yeah.
it in a nutshell, though, pretty much. Like, yeah, I don't think they're going to understand it. Yeah, what is this the
incentivization?
No, that's not the word. Incessant need to continually try to update things that no kids nowadays are ever going to gravitate to when you have a built-in audience already. Because I mean, that's kind of a lot of what we're built on here, right?
Well, it's like the 25-year rule of Hollywood, where kids who have grown up and managed to find their way in the industry want to, do the thing that they loved in the first place in their own way.
50.
I mean, well, Elizabeth Banks is in her 40s, so when she was a kid, the Flintstones were still in their new syndication, and yeah, she probably had. I mean, I don't think she actually had any love or anything to that. She probably just gravitated towards it because it's an easy job. It's voice acting. It's 2 hours in a booth studio doing your voice, and then you
something she can put on
her
her
off for the rest of the week. Yeah.
No, and that's the thing that bothers me is like, it would be great if it was people who actually were fans working on the shit. Kevin Smith's another example of this stuff with the He-Man series. That's what's got Andre and I and other fans worried about. That is, he flat out said he's not a fan of He-Man, and then he turns around and lies to us and says that, oh, I've always been a fan. I love He-Man's dick.
Well,
it's like you can't have both, dude.
Well, Nicholas Meyer proved you could be a fan of, not be a fan of something, but you can still.
Yeah, but he admits it.
That's he admitted it up front.
Exactly.
Brian Singer.
The thing is, it's that you take the responsibility of the job that you have. Like that's why I find it kind of strange when people say, well, it's this property. Like, what do you expect from this property? It's just a joke property. It's like, if you treat it like that, then yeah, it doesn't deserve to have any recognition. It doesn't matter if it's a joke property or not. It's your job. You have to make the best you can out of it, and you should, because there's probably some people that don't look at that as a joke but take it very seriously.
Absolutely.
And it's not even just respecting them. It's just saying you're giving respect to the people that are paying you for it. You're giving respect to the people that are possibly buying it. You got to put in that effort, and if you don't, then you're really just doing a disservice to everyone. And that's the worst crime you can commit in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, and Andre, you were going to say something.
Yeah, no, I was basically you said it as well. That the thing with Kevin Smith, like the problem isn't that he is not a fan. It's perfectly fine not to be a fan. Like that shouldn't be a requirement. As Rob pointed out with Nicholas Meyer, he wasn't a fan, and he's made the best Star Trek movies ever, but that's because he did his research and he knows how to tell stories. If Kevin Smith was like, yeah, I knew of it, wasn't a huge fan, but we're going to get this right, everything would have been great. There was no need for like that fake posturing. But yeah, in this case, I don't doubt that Elizabeth Banks probably saw it in syndication and is something of a fan of it. What has me more worried is what's her intention of it, because she might have been a fan of Charlie's Angels too, and look what happened with that. And I would be shocked if she's not going to give this the Charlie's Angels treatment as well.
Yeah,
and it's probably going to work out just as well as that.
Well, I would say, like, I saw the Charlie's Angels film, and I would say, aside from its bastardization of Bosley overall, I mean, they were walking the line between woke and not woke, because I mean, the premise itself is that you have three badass women with cunning and like smart, intelligent. They're from various fields of like either a cop or a spy or military, and so they should be able to do certain things. But the problem is, like, how do you execute that in a narrative that allows us to accept the actions that we're going to see? And that was like a trickier aspect to it, and it wasn't as much of a pontification in the movie as I was expecting it to be, but it still wasn't like overall great. I mean, there are some moments in there that were actually like effective and well done, but it was a very convoluted plot. You could predict exactly how the behaviors and actions were going to go. It was nowhere near on the level of like Birds of Prey or Terminator Dark Fate, but it was probably the lesser of those two in the regards to the agenda driven, but it still wasn't a very good movie. But it did have some competent aspects to it that I would say are telling that Elizabeth Banks is at least trying to do good on the directing side of things, but probably just doesn't have the mentality, the intent, or the support system to be the person that she wants to be in the industry.
Well, Goddess of Whim has a super chat here, and then I want to move on to our next story. Voltron Legendary Defender was made by fans, and it was good. They dropped the ball at the end, in my opinion. You'll have that. A great example of that also is the Tron series that Cameron worked on. Cameron Pasha.
Oh, yeah.
When he was there, the show was great, and that's what I kept. I mean, I remember the first few episodes I did see were good, but then I fell out because I heard, people online saying, "Oh, it sucks now." Well, and lo and behold, I learned why it turned out that way. So there you go. That's another example. Sometimes a leader leaves, or there's too much interference from the top down. You'll have that, especially when something's a success. Because
like if it's a failure and there's interference from the top down to right the ship, that could be a good thing. But if it's a success and someone's saying, no, it's got to be this, it's like, well, now you're compromising and the integrity of the show, because it's the axiom, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, sort of thing, right?
Yeah. We're going to be losing Andre here soon, but I did want to get his take on this real quick. So we'll go into this real quick. If you hadn't heard, oh, man. LeVar Burton defends Dr. Seuss, but calls cancel culture a misnomer. Says, I think we need to put things into perspective. In terms of cancel culture, I think it's misnamed. It's a misnomer. I think we have a consequence culture, and that consequences are finally encompassing everybody in society, whereas they haven't been ever in this country. What?
Well, I look forward to consequence culture coming for him when some woman comes out and says that he talked to her unsolicited.
Are you kidding? I'm surprised women haven't come out and said that they don't like the name of his character in Roots because it's offensive.
Oh boy!
Because they're going to go there eventually. It's just
eventually they will. Yeah, it's a matter of time.
So I think there are good signs that are happening in culture right now, and I think it has everything to do with a new awareness on people who are simply unaware of real nature of life in this culture for people who have been othered since the nation began. And then he goes on about Dr. Seuss and responsibility for this, that, and the other. Look,
nobody's saying there shouldn't be consequences to someone saying something stupid. Okay, but the whole thing is, like, you have the right to work again. That's the thing.
Are the consequences escalated above the crime? That's the question. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, Andre, real quick before you got to run out. What do you think of this? And then we'll go to Lucifer.
He needs to make up his mind. Like, are you is cancel culture really consequence culture and a good thing without it escaping all our attentions, or do we need to burn Dr. Seuss forever? Because, like, he defends Dr. Seuss, but then but then he's also defends cancel culture. Like, make up your mind. That's a little bit schizophrenic right there.
He's trying to have it both ways.
Well, I think the problem is kind of what Script was saying is you can't call it a misnomer or go off on this tangent that you're going on, Mr. Burton, when cancel culture means one thing. There isn't different degrees of cancel culture. You know what I mean? There isn't like level 1, 2, or 3. There's just
actually from people from a certain political direction. There is. It's like cancel culture is good and well when it comes from someone that's practical, but it's horrible, and you need evidence when it comes from one of their own.
That maybe, but what I'm talking about is, like, look, there was already a system in order that kind of worked like this. If you were somebody and you were on the job and you did something stupid, guess what? You get fired.
Huh.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
If you're not loyal to your family, guess what? You get a divorce. Plain and simple. Chances are you don't get the kids in the divorce. Like, life and society already kind of set itself up for, if you're going to be a piece of shit, most chances are you're going to pay for said piece of shit things you do. If
like
you burn down a building, chances are you're going to go to jail. Just saying. I mean,
But the thing is,
to this point where we need to be punished so badly just for the word crime thing. I mean, I get it. Like, if you're a piece of shit who's a racist piece of shit, chances are most people are not going to like you, and you're not going to have any friends.
Yeah.
Just plain and simple.
That's its own punishment. I mean, geez.
But I mean, at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that individual doesn't deserve the right to live and eat. I mean, eventually they may change their minds. Maybe something will happen to them that could happen, but that doesn't mean it's your fucking job to go out there and tell them that. You know, because most people, they're not going to listen to you when you tell them what to do. Most of the time, it takes a lesson in life or something to bring somebody to a point where they understand something like that. And Lucifer knows what I'm talking about, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Andre, anything else to say, though, before you head dip out?
Yeah, no, not really. Just want to say have fun. And LeVar Burton, never meet your heroes, yes, or hear them talk.
I actually met him.
Yeah, actually, so did I. But yeah, he was perfectly fine then.
Yeah. Everybody says he's a perfectly okay guy.
Yeah, he's nice. He's a little dude, but
I suspect he's getting misinformation from his daughters because they're of the age of being able to propagate this.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, they probably
That's what I suspect.
him the narrative. Yeah, because I doubt it. I don't think for a second that it's coming from him. He probably says this because this is what everyone has been feeding to him.
Or he's only seeing a very narrow aspect of it where people are doing horrible things, then getting canceled.
I got to go on The View tomorrow. Tell me about cancel culture. Well, Daddy, it's making sure people face consequences for their actions and that they pay for their transgressions.
You mean like people basically have been doing for the last, I don't know, 100 or so years in America?
No, it's better than that, Daddy. We ostracize people on the internet. Don't you know that? Don't you know about the Twitters? You know, that's what I picture what went on.
You're probably not too wrong. That's the scary part. But yeah.
I guess his daughter worked at Rooster Teeth, according to Cartoon Man. But yeah, I like what Mecha J Man said, or Mecha J, just Mecha J. No, Mecha J Man. I don't know where the man came from. Probably because I was reading Cartoon Man just before that. There's a difference between people who actually do terrible things and facing consequences, and then having different beliefs or saying something people might not agree with and being canceled. Yes, that's the truth.
100%.
Yes. I mean, there are laws in place that technically say if you're hiring somebody, you cannot be a fucking racist. Okay, there are already laws in place for that shit.
Yeah, they've been in place for a long fucking time as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand this shit.
I said about, didn't we say not that long ago about, remember that, who was it that said that, oh yeah, they're going to hire somebody for certain parts or certain things in Hollywood, specifically based on their gender or their race or their sexual orientation. I'm like, yeah, that's actually illegal.
Yeah, but Hollywood's the one place that can get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, any other industry, you could not do that. You being from the National Labor Relations Board, or I don't know, Department of Labor or Ministry of Labor in the UK, I guess, right? Ministry of Labor.
And that's what my point's been all this time, is that instead of trying to make the rest of us feel like shit, they need to look up at the people that they're trying to suck the dicks of and go, wait a minute, you're the motherfuckers who have been keeping us down all this time. In fact, I just had a nice conversation with Paulie over on Latino Slant where John Leguizamo went off about a few things, but he's not wrong. He's pointing out the facts that, like, look, there's all this fucking representation. Where's the Latino representation? If you're going to make these draconian rules, make them matter. And as Paulie and I kind of got to is like, yeah, how long is it before basically the Latinos are considered white or too white to be considered quote unquote POC? And that's kind of where the conversation got to. It wasn't so much about John bitching about nobody being nominated or getting awards that was Latino. It was more so like, where are these people in the industry? Why aren't they working?
You know, did you see Yellow Flash's video about that, about quote unquote Marvel and their diversity initiative? It's all white women that are making these rules.
My point. Yeah, and that's what we were getting at is, yeah, they virtue signal and they hang all these things on these hooks and say, look, we got this, we got this, we got that representation, but they don't really have true representation of what the audience is. That was kind of the whole point of our conversation we got down to, because there was a breakdown of the audiences that Willie sent me from last year, or from this last year, and basically the audience is pretty well broke down into like 50% white people, like 30% Hispanic, or 20% Hispanic, and then like 15% Black, and then Asian made up another like a percentage in there, and then the rest was, the rest of the minority cultures. And it's like, okay, so why is it that we're making, and then all of a sudden I see these articles. Oh, Hollywood's not diverse enough. Hollywood's not diverse enough. It's like it is, but it's diverse in the wrong ways. Is that making sense?
Well,
Like,
it's tilted to one side. I mean, there's plenty of people of all different cultures in Hollywood because they all have the same common goal, which is like to tell stories, to participate. The problem is that some of the powers in B either aren't interested in the stories, don't think they measure up, don't see a market for it, even though there's a market for everything. You just have to work for it, which is
absolutely
something that the advertisers don't want to do in this generation for some reason. But it is there because there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of skill, and there's a lot of people with dedication that want to rise to the occasion. I mean, there's a reason people pursue a career out there. The problem is that is there's a lot of, I mean, there is a bubble system there. I mean, some people call it a small town. I've lived in a small town. Hollywood is still huge. There's a lot of people. Just everybody knows everybody, so it feels like a small town.
Yeah.
Script doctor, you're not checking your privilege. You have too much white privilege. You should be thinking about
I am
these
technically
things.
an immigrant to Hollywood as an industry because I'm not a U.S. citizen.
You are not an immigrant. You are still a white man, and you still have privilege. Okay.
Well, yeah, basically,
you can't be an immigrant.
What we were doing is saying is that Leguizamo is kind of just calling out the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And I see exactly what he's calling out is like you claim to be all these things, but you're not really doing them.
Yeah.
Is what he's saying in so many words. And Andre, I don't know if you saw that or not, but if you wanted to comment on that before you had to leave.
Yeah, no, I didn't really see that, but I really have to be leaving. So, yeah.
We'll see you in the morning.
Yes, we will. So be sure to check back for that. And chances are we'll also be having a membership-only stream tomorrow.
On the main channel, yes.
Yes.
Nice.
So that should be cool.
And we'll be working on one for this channel soon as well.
Yeah. So more information on that will come, but tentatively 4 hours after the morning show is when we'll be having a membership-only stream.
We'll see. More like 1 hour for lucky.
No, after when it begins.
Oh, after when it begins. Now you're talking.
Yeah,
you're still,
after when it begins.
Still a stretch there, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, take care, Andre.
Yeah,
take care,
likewise. Yeah, take
and
care.
on that note, we got Cesario JPN who says LeVar's daughter Micah got into similar row at Warner Brothers subsidy Rooster Teeth. She went on a tirade about racism on a podcast. Oh, I remember that. Okay, which angered folks. She left RT citing internal company issues, not fans.
There's racism on this podcast, and you need to recognize that because I am LeVar Burton's daughter. Don't you know that? You have to check your privilege. Okay. All right, that joke's getting that's getting
old. Yeah. Oh Lord.
And yeah, everybody had such high hopes for LeVar Burton becoming the permanent host of Jeopardy.
He is a prolific TV director these days. I mean, he's not going to be hurting for work anytime soon.
But the issue I have with him, this aside, the issue I have with him, and I've been following this for a few weeks. Mm-hmm. The internet just decided to make LeVar Burton host of Jeopardy a thing, just for no fucking reason. Listen, he's an okay guy. Okay, I don't doubt that he probably would do a good job. But could we please see him in that context first before we name him because this is getting to be like the Idris Elba thing all over again. Idris Elba should play everything. Where do I vote? I'm like, you don't get a fucking vote, okay? I'm like, yeah, everything now. LeVar Burton. Just replace like Idris Elba with LeVar Burton. Now that's all. And they've actually Ryan Reynolds actually made a commercial that goes LeVar Burton for everything. You know, and that was actually a thing. And the people who get angry, pissed off, well, LeVar Burton taught me how to read on Reading Rainbow. Okay, let's make Barney or fucking Elmo host of Jeopardy, okay?
I'd watch Jeopardy if Elmo hosts it, to be honest with you.
Kids! We got Elmo! Yay! Elmo says, this lake is the largest of the Great Lakes! Script out there!
How did I not get this job?
Oh, Kermit hosting Jeopardy would be fantastic.
Oh my god,
that would be great as well. Yeah, just let the whole of the Muppets host Jeopardy.
Let them play Jeopardy. Let them host Jeopardy. Let's just Jeopardy.
I'm down for that.
Like Animal category music. World leader. Food.
Miss Piggy keep interrupting Kermit during the daily doubles. Like,
Well,
we're
what would
supposed to be going to dinner.
No, it'd be funny is Animal would get everything wrong because he wouldn't, he'd just be like, rah, rah, through the whole thing until you would get to the music category and he'd get everything right. But it'd be like, the answers would be like, who is Bach? And who's Answer is Beethoven.
Wrong. Answer Beethoven.
I'm sorry, you must be in the form of a question, Animal. Who is Beethoven?
He comes out, Jeopardy! Me ask, you answer!
That or Bunsen Honeydew would be a good host too. Yeah.
Swedish chef, imagine Swedish chef.
Gonzo. My favorite category is the chicken category.
Chickens!
You'd have to have Statler and Waldorf in the audience just heckling people.
Yeah.
Every time my answer's wrong, I knew what that was.
Whoa. Well, last time I saw a wrong answer was at the Warren Commission.
You should know you were in World War I.
Boo! Terrible, boo!
Fund it, says Brett.
This has got hit written all over it.
Yeah,
well, somebody ought to buy the fucking Muppets from Disney anyway. Save them.
Yes.
Oh
please.
God! Yeah.
For the love of fuck's sake, someone.
Please. They need to get out of that funk.
Can we do a GoFundMe or something so that?
I
Who's
would.
going to be the principal owner, or you have to set up a company with a board of directors to be able to oversee.
Muppet
The
Industries.
stipulation I would have is I'd have to be Kermit. That's it.
That's fine.
Like there was any argument scripts like, well, yeah. It's like
it's just God, just when you see something you've loved, we've all seen something.
Rob is Fozzie, so I mean,
Kermit! Waka, waka.
I'm telling a bunch of bad jokes.
There was a sailor who was so fat. How fat was he? He was so fat that everybody liked him, and there's nothing funny at all about him. I'm a professional. I've had 3 performances.
The drinks are on the roof.
Oh God! But
They're on the house. I mean, and everybody.
We got it.
I fucked up.
We got it.
I knew what I meant. All right.
I still revel in the fact that the Muppet Show for a time was the most popular television show in the world. It's amazing.
How hard is that?
And it's not. I mean, Alice Cooper says to this day that was the greatest. That was the greatest thrill of his career. Was appearing on the Muppet Show in season 3.
Even Russians are like, I hate America, but that Muppets is all right.
You damn Muppets. Love Muppets.
I saw the Muppets take Manhattan. They didn't quite take it right way, but I liked it.
In the last movie, Muppets must save theater for proletariat from evil capitalist Tex Richmond.
Yeah, if I would have took Manhattan, I would have totally destroyed the entire town.
It writes itself. I used to do another podcast, Lucifer. I used to do another podcast, communist movie reviews.
Muppets from space. I knew they were Roski.
Da, comrade. I go to see movie. I go to see Captain America. A very sad movie. Red Skull. He was hero of movie.
Tragic character.
Tragic character. Da, comrade. I go to see movie. I go to see how you say with Frog, Pig, and Great Gonzo. Muppets. Very much I'm liking these Muppets. Very
I'm
much
gonna
I'm
have to hunt
liking
down this podcast now.
Well, this is where we kind of batting the idea of doing late Saturday night, just like skits and improv, Rob and I. So we'll see.
Oh, that's cool.
Muppets. That's one thing we got to do is Soviet movie reviews or something.
We used to do a sketch because I do voices. We used to do a sketch, a bit Ask Sulu. We actually had an email set up ask Sulu at yahoo.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. And George Takei would answer your queries. Oh, yes. Is there anything you'd like to know? Oh, Lucifer Storm, I feel bedeviled. Oh, my. Ooh, yes.
So, George, if he was black, would you call him Devil's Food Cake?
Oh, I certainly would. I do love devil dogs myself. Oh my.
And then SAH Rebels says Tom Batman is the host of Jeopardy. I don't understand. What is the question? I'm just giving you the answer. What's the point? That's not how clues work. When the Riddler asks me a riddle, he asks me a question. I got to come up with the answer. I don't give you the answer.
Bright as Day says, I love the Muppets, but I can't believe these people won the Cold War. I love the Muppets. I live the Muppets, but I can't believe these people won the Cold War.
I know why they won the Cold War. It was the Iraqi.
Yes, we could not.
The Rockies alone beat us.
We never, all Soviet technology could never produce fighter with much heart as Rocky Bubble.
No, the Italian stallion.
Yes. That is American.
No, it's because he also Rambo.
That is true. That is true American weakness. They had to import Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
From Italy. Yeah, but much like Italian car, he only works for short time.
It writes itself. Thank you for becoming a member, Sean. I appreciate that. We got to have you back on. It's been a while. Stephen Otten says, Tom, check out the Code Red scene from the Muppets ABC series. It's hilarious. I might have seen it. I did watch most of that series when it was on ABC, but I haven't seen the new one they did recently on Disney Plus. Da,
comrade.
You know what other movie I'm seeing?
What?
It's with the Michael Jordan and the Space Jam.
This Space Jam.
And I'm liking it very much until the end. The Monstars lose.
Larry.
Communist movie review of Red Dawn.
Yes.
I go to see
that.
I go to see
biggest work of fiction in cinematic history.
I go to see documentary called Red Dawn. Yes, it does not tell the whole truth of that glorious winter.
No, we do not get beat by children like in Star Wars. No.
Star Wars, another movie.
They needed Sylvester Stallone. They did not have him. Patrick Swayze, come on. He could dance, but he cannot take out Ruski. Not happening.
But you not see Roadhouse when he goes into bar and he karate kicks everyone?
Very good point. I am very much liking the Roadhouse. That has the Sam Elliott.
Comrade. And he was also in how you say Silverado.
And no, you're thinking of the Tombstone.
The Tombstones. Tombstones. Yes, Sam Elliott. His favorite cowboy
with the computer with tennis shoes.
Comrade.
It has the other guy from the Aliens.
Which guy from the Aliens? How did he survive with the aliens to be in the Tombstones?
I don't know. It is a prequel.
Soviet Russia, you don't watch movie watches you.
It is Russia that way. It is indeed.
Comrade, we do review of Big Lebowski.
But we are getting things over here now. We've gotten the VHS.
Comrade, we got in the VHS. I can't
up of the line.
We've just rented War Games.
War Games. Would you like to play a game?
We play. What game we play? Oh, chess. Yeah,
you know what I said to be funny? I said, I'm sorry, Dave, I cannot do that. I saw that movie the week before, brand new, 2001. Love that Kubrick guy.
He
sounds Russian.
I go to see movie. I see Dr. Strangelove. He's very strange, this movie.
Was there any love in it?
No, but the cowboy
very strange.
But Cowboy was riding nuclear bomb at the end. And then he goes, kaboom.
I'm thinking I like to see this.
That is very interesting. Also, the Earl James Jones was in it.
Slim Pickens is there too.
You mean the Mufasa?
Yes, Earl James Jones. That's what I said.
He world famously voiced Mufasa.
I see movie, comrade. I see Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island.
That's not a movie. That's stupid TV show.
Oh, I keep wondering why are 7 Americans stranded on island?
But that reminds me of the Space Jam with the Bugs Bunny. Did you see that?
Comrade. I kept thinking, how could we get this rabbit to train Olympic athlete in basketball?
It's easy. You get a Ghostbuster.
Ghostbuster. Where can we find this Ghostbuster?
He's hanging around, he says.
The Ghostbuster hanging. Where's he hanging?
Yeah, he gets a Teamster to give him a ride.
What do they have to pay Teamster?
A sandwich?
Okay. The sandwich?
Sandwich sounds good. Let's get a sandwich.
Borscht and sauerkraut sandwich?
Da.
Da.
Well, they only lost 8 people during that whole skit.
Pretty good. Mr. MH, stupid American people don't know I was nuclear engineer in Mother Russia.
Yeah.
Come to America?
I went to the moon twice.
Come to America? Now I'm janitor.
Yeah. But I got the VHS player, so I'm moving on up.
Just like in Mr. Jefferson's.
Yes.
Wait till they see Laserdisc.
That blow their mind.
Now, slow down. I'm no rich guy.
It's so funny though. I mean, that's
a show in and of itself.
It's basically the northeastern part of Russia where they still think it's the USSR.
What do you mean communism is failing?
No, Rocky saved us.
We just got internet this week.
Yeah, play. I don't have my sounds up.
Get a load of these. Dash these says, please. Oh, go ahead.
Comrade, I am waiting for the day Ralph Cramden finally sends Alice to moon. Please
I've
tell me.
already been there twice. I told you. There's not much to do there. It's rather cold.
Very cold.
No good place to raise a kid.
This Ralph Cramden, he threatens her with spousal abuse.
The Elton John was right.
Back?
What was that?
Elton John's right. The bitch is back.
Yes, that too.
Oh, for God's
I have seen the aliens. The bitch is back. He says, stay away from her, you bitch.
You know, when I went to Sweden, I actually said I was relieved because not everybody likes Americans. This was in 2008. And a very nice Swedish lady said to me in a hotel, no, we like Americans just fine. We hate the French. And I said, our countries have so much in common.
On that note, Dash B says, please tell me you've seen the secret elevator tapes. I'm not sure I have.
Well, the other thing they said is they hate Russian tourists. Russian tourists are the worst.
I'll have to check out secret elevator tapes. I'm not quite sure what it is.
It's a pretty broad.
Yeah. I'm sure I could find all kinds of things with that, like some nudity.
Oh yeah.
All for Mother Russia, yes indeed. I've watched the movies.
No patriarchy in Mother Russia. That's correct.
That's right.
Has everyone here seen Woody Allen's Love and Death set during the Napoleonic Wars in Russia?
No, can't say I have.
Yeah, in college.
Actually, it's
what Russian novel embracing more than 500 characters was set during the Napoleonic Wars?
With John Travolta. John Travolta's Vinny Barbarino's hosting Jeopardy now.
No, that was from Ninja Turtle.
That was from the first Ninja Turtle, Trivial Pursuit.
Oh my god! The Russian guy is he's the last true emperor of Russia. He's called the Tsar. What was his name?
Welcome to Jeopardy. Oh
God!
What movie starring me had an award-winning soundtrack?
What is MASH?
No, that's wrong. Mr. Carter, what's the answer?
The one with Jim
Fever.
The one with Jimmy Farr.
No, it wasn't Sat. Yeah, it was Saturday Night Fever. It wasn't
Because that one's Staying Alive. That's the sequel. Nobody
Staying
watched that.
Alive is a sequel. Nobody watched it. Not even me. So that's the one that Sylvester Stallone directed.
Is it?
I think so. If I remember right. Oh shit. Oh, we gained back two listeners.
Look at that. Magic that.
All right. Well, I think we've drugged this out as long as we can, speaking of drugs.
For God's sake.
There was another story, but we're not even going to get into it now. It's not that big of a deal anyway. In fact, I'll just tell you all to check out our Godzilla Kong video that we recently released. That kind of has most of what we were going to talk about in it anyway, so that nobody happens to have watched for some reason.
Go check that out. It's a good video.
Willie Woodward says, true story, I've only met a handful of people who've ever read War and Peace, but I've only met one who read it twice, and it was on the toilet.
Whoa.
That person spent way too much time on a fucking toilet. They need a doctor.
Yeah.
Lewis Black had a joke about the U.S. tax code. You know, it was 12,000 pages long. If I wanted to sit through and read 12,000 of unreadable Drek, 12,000 pages of unreadable Drek, I'd read War and Peace 4 times.
Oh, Lord. So what are we going to watch for the first Russian movie review, or whatever we're going to call it?
Something from the 60s. You got to go that old.
Yes.
Well, we could almost get away with a few movies, because as you notice, we just trucked through like 6 movies.
Yeah, you got to make them short and brief, kind of like commercial spots, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, and the best part is the only parts that matter is the cool shit, right? So like,
yeah.
You know,
Oh, speaking of old movies, I started watching Duck Soup. And
that's the Marx Brothers. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, it's hysterical. Groucho, even today, like Groucho's hysterical. It's just
I've watched
amazing.
The Lord of the Rings. It wasn't as good as our production, but it was still pretty good. That Peter Jackson, he knows his stuff. I say.
Jackson Peter, very good.
Yeah, but no patch on ours. No. And the joke's only funny if you've actually seen the Russian Lord of the Rings,
which is a very peculiar film.
It's like a TV play. It's bad.
You want to see something bizarre? To check out on YouTube. There's clips of North Korean television. That's bizarre.
You know what I got? Speaking of bizarre, I gotta track down the Bollywood Jaws.
Oh,
there's musical numbers in it.
Some great musical numbers there.
I am so in for that. I love it when like Bollywood and India and all that, they do their own take on the big Hollywood movies. Like, have you ever seen Turkish E.T.?
Not E.T., but I've seen Turkish Star Wars,
Spider-Man, Batman, Superman.
Yep. There's also a Turkish Exorcist that is hysterical.
No, I haven't seen either one of those. Now I want to though.
There's a whole long list.
I love that shit. I've seen the Turkish Nightmare on Elm Street though.
Oh, and then I haven't seen that.
Was it an Indian movie where it had Spider Woman and Superman or some shit?
Yes. And there was another one where I think Spider-Man was the bad guy and Captain America was the good guy, and it was all but I think Batman was in it as well.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that's Turkish
It was called something like
Turkish Batman?
Dev Adam.
Yeah, there's Turkish Batman.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
see, that's what we need to do, Rob. Is we need to also do a show where we just watch like Turkish and
Turkish movie reviews.
Yeah.
Just there's so many great
Turkish Delight.
Turkish Superman, Turkish Star Wars.
Exactly. I have a feeling it could be amazing balls. The only parts we're gonna have to worry about is when they actually lift scenes from the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, you just do the scenes that they actually filmed, which are like 12 or 13 of them. They're not going to copyright strike you. No, they don't have the money to do that.
Star Wars is the worst one because, if I remember right, Jaws doesn't pull any scenes from the original, and I haven't seen some of the other ones we mentioned. But the Nightmare on Elm Street one's all on its own. It's like totally like. Yeah, so I think we can pull it off.
Yeah, there's actually a version of 24 from India, which I'd like to take a look at. Which is, it's made specifically for the Indian market,
Yeah.
So I'm like, I saw a still from. I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy's the Indian Jack Bauer. Okay, cool, whatever.
No. I'm talking about good shit though.
Okay, well.
See, that's all right. I'm just kidding. Dash D says 12 episodes of the Muppets Secret Elevator Tapes on YouTube. Okay.
Oh,
you didn't have to send another super chat, but thank you for that. I appreciate it. I will check those out. I do like me some Muppets.
Hell yes.
As long as they're good. Some of the stuff Disney has done with them, though, is questionable in the least. Cesario GPN says, speaking of Northern Korean TV, has Rob seen the NK North Korean kids show Squirrel and Hedgehog? Good grief, it's both funny and scary at the same time.
No, but I'm going over to YouTube right now.
I was way ahead of you. Squirrel
and Hedgehog. It goes right at the top of the top of the
Okay.
It's a default search. Okay.
Okay.
I kind of doubt they're gonna copyright strike us with that.
Probably not. Okay, well, we'll just grab one here. This kind of reminds me of the Japanese Ninja Turtles. I hope it's better.
Did you guys ever hear that story about I can't remember who was in power in North Korea at the time, but they kidnapped one of the directors of Godzilla.
It was
and made him make a North Korean version, and I think it was called Pulgasari.
It was like that. It was Kim Jong-il that was in.
I gotta see this shit now.
Why is everybody so fucking stupid? Why can't they all be intelligent like me?
I want to see that movie now.
I so lonely, so lonely.
There you go. Communist Critics Review Team America.
I love Team America.
Lesson of Squirrel.
Lesson of Squirrel. Okay. Should we just start it from the beginning here for a few minutes?
Hold on. Let's. Okay. All right. This is like a typical kind of cartoony kind of scene.
Doesn't look that new, actually.
Looks like the 70s or late 60s.
70s or 80s, yeah.
Crickets are kind of loud.
The animation's not too bad.
Oh, yeah, it's not terrible. No. It looks really dated, though. I wonder what.
Yeah, that part I can see, but where's the batshit crazy stuff coming in? I spoke too soon.
Oh my god. What the hell's going on?
This looks like a wannabe Disney cartoon or something. Maybe if there's a better, I'm not sure what I'm.
You know, weasels have got to be Americans. You know that.
Is that what it is?
Probably.
More than their citizens.
작은 나라입니다. 크고 사나운 쪽제비를 당해낼 수
있단 말이야.
army
helmet on.
당해낼 수 있어?
그다고 우쭐대지 말아요.
뭐라고?
이러지 마세요. 이러다가 싸우시겠네.
Okay, so are the weasels Americans and the bears are Russians?
Probably.
이거 뜻밖의 일로.
I don't know. We're gonna have to need an explanation. We can't sit here through a whole show.
Also, there's a lot of reading for Tom.
I ain't fucking reading the show. That's the best part about Bruce Lee movies is they've got American dubs.
Ha! You fool!
I know, and they sound awesome.
It's like
everybody's South Koreans. Okay.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, here we go.
Haha, Chinlun, you have proven yourself. You are worthy of my daughter.
Are you quoting Kung Pao?
I'm quoting that's like every single that's like every freaking martial arts movie from the 70s.
I recently been re-watching them, Rob, because I got the Criterion Bruce Lee Greatest Hits collection, and I finally dusted it off. Because I haven't seen those since on video on TBS as a kid and shit. Like when I watched them, they had the American titles and stuff Big Boss was actually Fist of Fury, and Fist of Fury was actually Chinese Connection, and down the row. So Matt G says Turkey did a version of Showtime show Shameless. The Showtime version and original British version is TVMA. The Turkish version was TVPG. LOL. Isn't that everything though? But that's the thing. Even the Nightmare on Elm Street is kind of tame. Is like, yeah. But anyway, we'll have to check those out. Valiant Renegade, how you doing, buddy? Says, hey, Tom and Rob and Script just joined the stream to say hi, quick. Hell, oh, the fuck could just walk into. Hello. Don't know what the fuck. We got a little explanation afterwards, but like, I was expecting something funny and goofy, like that guy with the dick. Did you guys see that cartoon? I'm trying to remember this name, but it's like
something. But he has like the longest penis.
Yeah, it's a kid's cartoon. It's like a Finnish kid's cartoon or some shit.
Heard something about that. Yeah,
yeah, Mr. Wigglesworth or some shit. I don't know, but he uses his dick to do shit. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I wouldn't use my dick to grill with. I'm just saying.
That's dangerous. Yeah,
that's very dangerous, and your dick is sensitive.
Yeah,
Dillerman. That's it, Dillerman. Yeah.
Oh,
good Lord Almighty. Speaking of good Lords Almighty, Lucifer, what you working on lately? You still got that book coming, or what's up?
Yeah, I'm still working on Lady Satan, and I'm also juggling another book called Ed Gein Demon Hunter, which I've been working on the scripts for that, and I've sent them off to the artist, and he's very, very pleased with them. So that's good. And yeah, that's pretty much been taking up all of my time, which is a shame because we've just started having COVID restrictions lifted here, so I'm not getting a chance to go to the pub as often as I would like to.
Rob feels your pain.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share your Lady Satan link in the chat here.
Yes, please.
And get your YouTube link as well, so people can check that out as well, because you do stream and do other things. You mostly do kind of comic book more oriented stuff, though, right?
Yeah, I do. I am going to start doing some horror movie related stuff
there you go.
On there as well soon at some point.
Yeah, you have to be up.
Yeah, definitely.
'Cause I'm about as much of a Chucky fan as you are. I'm wondering if he's got more shirts, because I've seen a couple on you already. I've got a couple too.
Do you have a Chucky tattoo?
No, I don't. You beat me there. But I do have two of the Mezco Chuckies here. I don't know if you can see these.
Nice.
I got Child's Play 2 one and Child's Play 1.
Awesome.
There you go.
Fuck yeah, that's great. I want your room all of a sudden. I'm spotting lots of things there that I'm liking.
Yeah, I got a few goodies. Yeah. I just got the Child's Play 2 one, though. That just came out, the one with the knife hand. Yeah. And it went pretty quickly. It's only on the secondary market now. So yeah, and Ed Gein Demon Hunter, is that one also got an Indiegogo page?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
It's still in early stages.
Right.
Christian Rossi's the artist on it. He works for Alterna. He's also the assistant of Eduardo Riso, who worked on like Batman and 100 Bullets and stuff like that. So he's doing the art duties. He's just reading over the scripts at the moment because he's still working on a book called Rad Rose, which I think he finishes in June. So once he's finished it in June, all the scripts are there ready for him, and he's very eager. He's starting to work a bit faster on Rad Rose because he's read the scripts and gone, "This is batshit crazy. I love it. Let's do it."
Awesome. And yeah, we definitely got to have you back on the morning show again too. Soon, if not next week, soon. But yeah, so check out Lucifer's book, check out his channel. Hopefully, enjoy it, and you subscribe.
Yeah.
And check out Script Doctor's channel as well. Are you working on anything recently, Script, or are you just too swamped with work?
I'm swamped with day job and commissions and assignment work, so it's taking up my time for the moment. But again, my videos are they're evergreen-ish. You can watch them at any time. They're not predicated on current events. So if you want to learn something about story structure and writing, and by way of bad example, go check out my channel where I review Batwoman, The Mandalorian, Star Trek shows, and see what that drives your fancy.
All right. And I know Rob's been doing a little bit of live streaming and stuff over on his channel as well. So check out Robot Shlomo, the only Robot Shlomo on YouTube, as he'll tell you. And we also are going to be launching Midnight's Edge Espanol in about a week. Just over. Yeah, also stay tuned Thursday for more MEAD and other fun stuff. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else we really need to plug. We got Dash D's coming in with another super chat, though. Says, you can't get more unqualified than me to say this, but Lucifer, you and Vinny Tatamala should hook up. Your writing and his art would be a class A.
Oh, yes, I do like his artwork. I would quite happily do a project with him. If he just if he sends me his page rates, I'll be more than happy to sort something out.
Hey, and we got Comics Division coming in at the last minute.
Hey.
I don't know if you've ever met Comics. He's a good dude.
I don't think I have, but he sounds like the kind of guy that I need to sit down and have a chat with.
And not only that, you would probably really fit into our Thursday night show, but it would probably wreak havoc on your schedule.
On my sleep schedule.
But yeah, totally. Like, yeah, he's somebody you could probably talk to as well sometime. Yeah. Comics. You should check out Lucifer's channel if you haven't. Great stuff over there. So yeah, without that, I'm just gonna say I like ginormous Pioneer Pictures picture there. I want that King Kong doll.
Ooh,
now.
Very nice.
Because that looks like it has the 33 face on it. There you go. And yeah, we got High Council coming up in a little bit. I have no idea who the hell the guest is going to be. So, Comics, are you busy? I'd ask Lucifer too, but I know you got to sleep soon. So
yeah, it's quarter to silly o'clock in the morning over here.
I was going to say silly o'clock in the morning. I was figuring it was right about that time. Yeah, so sleep is for pussies, says Comics. Yeah, but he's not in this country as well.
Yeah, you can't have to take that into account, unfortunately. As I've said many a times before, I am a British person, and that really isn't your fault.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold me responsible for that either. All right, kids, let's get out of here because I want to eat something before High Council, which is just over an hour away. So we'll see y'all over there on World Class Bullshitters as always. And let's see what we're going to go out on here. Let's go out on something funny. We haven't done something funny in a while. Let's do this.
Alfred, where the hell are my socks?
I set them on your boots, sir.
My what?
On your boots.
Oh, never mind. They were on my boots. Where's my utility belt?
Under your cape, sir.
Did you pack me a lunch?
Yes, sir. PB&J with no crust, sir.
Did you put in a little bag of Flaming Hot Doritos?
Of course, sir.
It has to be the Flaming Hot ones. The regular ones are too wussy for my manly taste buds. And don't forget the icy.
I'm afraid we're out. We only have apple juice boxes left.
What? Disappointed! Did you go to the store?
I didn't have time, sir. You insisted that I have the new rocket booster installed by tonight.
Yeah, it will have that extra boost. I want to impress the ladies with a big boom.
Of course you do, sir.
And don't forget the curly straw. Those cheap ones that come with the juice boxes always break under my super strong pressure.
I would never forget. And of course they do, sir. You are so manly and strong.
Fucking A. I know, right? Maybe I should back off on some reps. I don't know if my muscles can handle any more muscularness. Lunchtime. All right. See what we got here. Juice box. Yeah. Wait, what the hell is this? Son of a bitch. Screw it. Not gonna fight crime. Whole night's ruined. Not tonight, Jim.